Let's talk about 3 ways that childhood trauma can show up in your life and in your body now as you are. Way number 1. Are you clenching your teeth right now? Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders down your back. There you go. You might notice that your neck and shoulders are always tight. That is one way that childhood trauma often shows up in your body. And not just childhood trauma. If you've experienced any major event recently, or just even listening to the news lately, you might have fairly tight neck and shoulders. And you might notice this kind of turtleneck thing happening, which results in clenching the jaws, clenching the shoulders, and a lot of clenching in other places. I want you to notice if you feel on edge when you notice that tension in your neck and shoulders. This is one of the ways that childhood trauma, generational trauma shows up in your body. That sensation, if you notice the clench and the duck and the shoulders going up, your eyes are going to get a little bigger as you start to notice that, because your pupils might dilate, because you are getting ready for something. Okay, you're getting ready to respond. That is your body's response to some external stimuli that is showing up as an offense. And no matter what your response is, whether you're gonna fight, whether you're gonna run away, whether you're gonna fawn, or the lesser known trauma response of pretending or going along with something until you can get out of there, no matter what your response is going to be, that tightening up of the shoulders and the neck is that initial, I need to get ready to do something. Something's going down, I need to get ready. And oftentimes, if your trauma is childhood trauma, this also leads into that feeling of when nothing is going on or nothing is happening, maybe feeling even more tense and even more tension in the neck and shoulders, because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're waiting for the other thing to go down. You're waiting for the bullshit to happen, okay? And this is a very common for people who have had very chaotic childhoods, very crappy childhoods. It doesn't really matter what happened a lot of times. It's that you didn't receive the support and nurturing and guidance from those who were older than you and maybe knew more than you and were wiser than you. So you're looking around at the grown-ups and you're like this and they're like this, right? They're always like this. That's why you have a childhood that's really chaotic. And you start to not only mimic this motion, but you start to recognize that you have to walk around on edge because you don't know when the next thing is going to happen. So that is a very typical straining or body response to ongoing or childhood trauma. Now that leads me into our second way that childhood trauma shows up in your life and body. And that second way that it shows up in your life is that you over-explain things. Yeah, especially when you have to tell someone no, there tends to be this over-explanation, this going over and over of, oh, I can't show up to your party, even though it's not an important party, it's not even your birthday, it's just some random gathering you have and I have to work. Like, it leads to this over explaining of, oh, I just have so many, I gotta, and then you're stuttering and then it sounds like you're lying, but really you just want to say no to things. It leads to this over explanation of why you won't give someone your energy, when People don't necessarily have a right to your time, your energy, your presence at all. If you choose to give people your time and your energy and presence, that's a beautiful thing, but it should never be forced. But when you've experienced a significant amount of childhood trauma, we are groomed and pushed to not respect our own no's and not value our time and our energy. A lot of childhood trauma revolves around getting you in on the idea that your only value is what you can do for someone, not who you are or your existence or just being. And that leads to this over explanation of why you can't do things for other people or why you're tired sometimes. It's okay to say no to things just because you're tired. It's okay to say no to things just because you feel in your body that you want to say no. And yet, recognize that this is probably one of the hardest things to do when you've come from a chaotic childhood, because you are literally groomed to do for people. You are not groomed to believe that you're important for who you are just because you exist. And that's not to say that sometimes we don't support people and help people out, but a lot of times I've noticed that a lot of the childhood trauma survivors that I work with are the cycle breakers in their family, and they hold a significant amount of energy, and their presence tends to be a very healing presence. They tend to be people who are the black sheep of the family. If you are a black sheep of the family, you are probably a cycle breaker. You are probably carrying and holding the energy of shifting your family dynamics. And a lot of times, these dynamics get set in motion because you have a dysfunctional family system. But we'll talk about that in another episode. That leads me directly to the third way that childhood trauma shows up in your body, in your life. And that is the belief and the feeling that you're not enough. The belief and the feeling that what you do, who you are, how you think, how you show up in the world is not enough. No matter the accomplishments, no matter the accomplishments that you make, no matter income that you have, no matter the achievements that you pursue and win and receive, no amount of accolades will make you feel like you're enough, because there is someone's, what's the word? I need the word. Approval. There's someone's approval that deep down inside, and you might even know right off the top of your head, but for some of you, deep down, there is someone's approval you are still trying to receive. And remember, if you come from one of the dysfunctional family systems, okay, we'll talk about that later. If you come from a dysfunctional family system, you have been groomed, grown, and shaped to believe that you are not enough as you are. You're not enough just because you exist. You're not enough because you're human. And here is the kicker. Here's the thing. When a baby is born, most of the time, we're not expecting that baby to come out of the womb ready to pick up an axe and go to the mines. At least I hope not. We're not expecting that baby to come out ready to pick up an axe and go to the mines to prove that they are worthy enough to exist. And even in dysfunctional family systems, babies aren't necessarily expected to do anything. They still deserve to eat. They still deserve to live somewhere safe and warm. And in fact, they deserve to be held. And if they don't, they get something called failure to thrive. Just like that baby, you also are deserving of people to give you hugs if you want them, or handshakes if you don't, or no touch if you don't want touch at all, just a little elbow bump or something. Whatever way you want to be interacting with the people in your life, you're deserving of that. And the way that childhood trauma survivors are raised is often to believe that what they desire or feel they would want for themselves is too good for them. Or who are you to expect that? Who are you? That question comes up a lot. Who are you to expect to be treated with respect or kindness? I once had a client tell me, I think you believe that people deserve to be kind to themselves, but I don't believe that about myself. I don't believe I deserve to be kind to myself. And I remember saying, what is it that you believe you've done or said or been that you don't even deserve to be kind to your own self? Now, that's not to say that we don't grow and change and shape and try to be better people. We're people, okay? We're gonna make mistakes. We're not gonna be perfect. That's not the point. But who made you believe that you don't even deserve to be kind in your own mind to yourself? That's the question. If you have stuck around, please share, subscribe. If you want to work with a trauma doula yourself, my links are in the description box below. I offer trauma recovery yoga experience and channeled Reiki therapy, both of which are beautiful modalities for people who are ready to heal and grow and change. Till next time.